About 10 years ago, my husband was gone overnight and I got an automated phone call sometime in the evening after dark from the county sheriff's department saying 2 inmates had escaped from the local juvenile detention facility. I live in a very rural area and this facility is only a few miles away, also in a rural area. And the 2 escapees were not juveniles for some reason, and they were armed. They had somehow overcome the officer and gotten his weapon, so there are helicopters circling the area for hours. I was on the computer, before I had a cell phone, all night messaging my local friends and trying to find updates. All the while, the helicopters were still circling within a mile of my house. Bottom line, I turned on all the lights, barricaded the doors, and sat up all night. I finally went to sleep when the sun came up. Most scared I've ever been. I lived in an apartment by myself right after high school when I was about 19 years old. I had lived there for about a whole month when something truly horrifying happened. My front door was locked, top and bottom locks. I'm sitting in my living room watching TV when all of a sudden I hear keys going into my door locks and I see the locks physically start to turn. My body froze completely and my heart sunk into my chest. I did not have maintenance or anything else planned, nobody to come by and visit, etc. The door swings open and I see an older Asian man with bags of clothes and a few boxes. He immediately started screaming at me in a language I did not understand. He began repeatedly hitting me and he dragged me out of the apartment. He had me in a chokehold and finally my upstairs neighbor came down and pulled him off me. We called the police and long story short, by some bizarre mistake at the leasing office they gave this man a key to my apartment and told him it was his. He purchased it before moving here and had only seen pictures of an empty unit. He assumed I was some sort of squatter in his unit. I was young and poor. I had a TV, a chair, and an inflatable mattress. I had almost no possessions at all, so I could see how he might have thought that I was there illegally. He was actually meant to get Unit 54 when I was in 56, right next door. I was able to press charges on the man and also sued the apartment complex for them allowing a stranger to have a key to my door, which ended violently. He did not move in next door after the incident, and I actually stayed there an entire year rent-free. I was able to save some money and bought everything I needed as an adult. I also bought a pistol for my own protection shortly after. Don't forget to subscribe and like. While I was at my grandma's house, she left to go to the grocery store, so I was at her house alone playing my Wii. While playing, I hear noises coming from upstairs that sound like footsteps. I get really worried, so I walk outside for a minute or two to calm down, then walk back inside. A few minutes later, I hear more noises, and this time the noises are coming closer to the living room door. All of a sudden, I see a person walking, and I let out a loud noise. Turns out the noises I heard were my grandma. She had never actually went to the store. I had misheard what she told me. My best friend, her husband, and I decided to get an apartment. It was a nice place. We all got on really well. It worked out great. After about a month, we'd noticed food missing that no one would own up to, but whatever, we all brushed it off. My roommate's cats had a tendency to destroy the blinds on the windows, so it had a nice section missing out of the window that looked out from our living room to our front steps. I was home alone around midnight on a Wednesday. I was up late working on stuff for school in the living room. I'd been hearing weird noises all night, but brushed it off as the thin walls. After a while, I heard a noise out on the steps and looked over to see a man's face peering through the gaps in our front window. As calmly as I could, I got up and locked myself in the bathroom. I called the police and then my roommates, telling them they needed to come home. After some investigating, we found evidence that there was someone living in our attic, which had outside roof access with a broken lock. We moved out of that apartment within a week. Super king of creepypasta.